verdict number ama ya ka ho asem bebre na eno ay holiday nti ntimi amfa ko hwehwe na amre mu na de ne ba afia da saa no so nti na say e wo say di be share ne na wo so hu de course so e wo Supreme Court verdict no ase afei COVID-19 vaccine ya de say enkofo ogusu wa na eno adam timi kopie mu okumase eye CAS Komfana Teaching Hospital na afei South Interest no so wo kumase ho na we ni pardon a agitwi ne trade ko panye na akra ha de me say dan tumpa say hu say de ko bat kumase fo de o ma gya na tumpa o mani abre a o mo ko panenko retwe bi ko so wo CNN Centroni ba ko ene doctor ni kese ba ko pa na enkomo nsem bi epie mu ba ye no ye de ho nkomo retwe so bebreo wo sa dwumagi esuntina no ensem yeni na yesi nkonwa nei ye be ka ho asem ene anope na woni aka me ho wo dwumagi so Francis Ejay ena afre yewura anim yeboa eno mo ka ho dwumagi so yesi nkonwa se go be hwe anim no di no yesi nkonwa ye de ebre mu ne anope ma refi se obeko Facebook ene YouTube di no Premium TV Ghana ko na pe ko like page ni share na ho adwenche so to ne so ye nya daje na yenkin kama na bibia enso entimi enye kama na enye kama enso e woda eso na say dachi bia opese wo bi nsentro adwuma yi say ye atwetwere say reporting say ye presentation ko kuma to yem kura enche kura school pon bi ebe pa ho to makura bi free next month ko na premium media college ba wa kwemu na mwanchemi na afi obi biara woda eso ene say wo pese wo didwuma wo ensentro dwuma mu no wo be pimo say school ye betimi aboa wo ama bibia etimi aye kama bia oda eso no say da wo so ye cameraman wo pese wo ye video editor animation ni be kire wo na bia enso etimi aye kan yakobon ya do a next month ye betimi apa school wo ntuma na wo a woda eso no say wo pese wo ye ensentro ni say de meti ameka say you have to 87 who's a good personality ba say ya na me mwate kakra o pese o 87 me say France edi mu to say enim ye bo amu o be pie mu supu ye be kire ade bi o so ku bi ye be kire wo na o kwa bonti a wo so sa mpa wo so wo ye ensentro ni mapa enti nyame ya dom a mo te share bia ba e be ba na afi etiefo na ye fon so bo mu na mu a o pese o ba e ensentro ni no wo tumi na be pie na afi yamano etitiye so right tino me twa ho aba ba Supreme Court verdict na kwai fa so ba ye mumemu mo twen ye mampani John Dramani Mahama former president na nso di tu nyina no ehwe na ye say the reaction ni action no enso esifa etie me twa ho sima aba me so se me nko ba bia
oni se empema bro eya apomtentene ejuma onim se empema bro etumi de enije bafie empo scan ni ho a onim se empema bro ema obi kra ni tipai na etumi jai onim de empasa bro timi ye wait na make catch us so person who do draw efa empema bro ho a sie kundwa no ni of nature Friday you may be 8 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. no only me entwetwe no emfa odo empa suju medie no isim bisani bi say ani poma ye hwe eye semene medofo enya ampaso agro na semeni anje a metumi ka hwe madamfo dodo na aka we hu nti na me se hwe me Premium TV ni yentumi endi enkomo me ka se odo mpaso a no waje so okọ ene ni gie wo
baby I'm not you it dear man I'm coming I'm so me I adore you, and I do it, yeah, I go show you love. Make sure we take it on go be. Yeah.
You dawasi say you nya bre twen yen na you could try ho ba yodo empa so jibagi na hu se na etwebon enche kra e be ba wa kwami san say we are seeing sabio say ya wade say ye possible say ye bra twi o paso wo de na nim kina ya na ma aware anaasɛ relationship ne nyina yi so ahu nti no bibi a wɔsɛ wɔte bia deɛ wɔsɛ ɔhu bi ɔdɔm pa so no ɛde sɛ dwuma de ba na mo a relationship ɛnkɔ yie ma wade sɛm ɛnkɔ yie sɛ dwuma de bɛboa ma wade sɛm ne mo mpena mu no bibi a timi ayɛ kama na ayɛ kama bɛma deɛ ɔwɔ a ɛwɔ sɛ wotimi sipi na wosita no wabu ani ani kyerɛ sɛ ɛdwɛ na ɔyɛ ama mo ɔpiafo na bibi a timi ɛde sɛ dwuma de bɛboa ma ɛde sɛ France wɔte yɛ sɛ no so ahu hɛn na de jam o tro ka me ba yi ba wa kwan mu atimi se be boa na bia atimi aye kama e wo na se de bi kan ye ko break re me de tuoni se Supreme Court verdict ya e na no ba ye na ho nkomo na ye na sa na no ni pani o mu we kamia koye se binum so mo be wo binum so mo mo binum so mo de be wipe Africa for great wiase ebinim se pan yewu a sebi o mema no o bema no anaso kwa kudo nsu no enya adwuma biem je se ensem bebre ne ko fo keka sa ba sinti no ko twetwe du ko so CNN na sentry ne bisa doctor ne nsem ya doctor ne tuda no wa kaka utibia asifim na mpintu ye ko tie sa ko mo na mra na le ba ya digi sa video no ho na ansa na no mama we ja fa kwa ba emfa emra dwemadi no eso Mr. Francis bibia boko die everything is well weekend na come up holiday Yabua when you bring the gata me ne oba cancer pa
ye be magana fo hu de eko
ya boko die
gba de de yenko ache obo ye ne
afa mo come up master designer mo ya sa mo wasa profile because Ghana man timi wo mo she Ghana niema so
ye be
wo ntuma
emum na ntuma no nim ni di wonim ntuma ni
we no meba nsantu mebo enti Francis Ajay ena afei yenua yeboa ena nneema yesi nkonwa nsema hodo a eye vaccine no ene Supreme Court verdict no yede ho enkomotwetwe ebebrew ewo saa dwumadi no eso enti yenkwai na afei yenkwohwe saa video yi a enkomotwetwe bi course won sentroni bi ene o doctor kese pa entem ne nsemo de tudwa no asifim yenkoti emrazisi ya
long talking about that vaccination. So many people have debated for and some against this vaccination. And I am not here to convince you to take the vaccination or not to take the vaccination. But I want you to have the opportunity to use your tongue to count your teeth and ask yourself valid questions. Just watch this video. I'll be right back.
All right, just some questions that keep coming up.
Okay.
Why do I have to keep wearing the mask after I get the vaccine? I thought it was going to protect me from the vaccine. What's the answer?
Well, the answer is unless you get the overwhelming majority of the country vaccinated and protected and get that umbrella of what we call herd immunity, there's still a lot of virus out there.
There's still a lot of virus out there.
So just because you're protected, so-called protected by the vaccine, you need to remember that you could be prevented from getting clinical disease and still have the virus that is in your nasopharynx because you could get infected. We're not sure at this point that the vaccine protects you against getting infected.
We're not sure at this point that the vaccine protects you against getting infected.
We know for sure it's very, very good, 94, 95% in protecting you against clinically recognizable disease.
Clinically recognizable disease, but not COVID?
And almost 100% in protecting you for severe disease.
And almost 100% from severe disease? Well, then what does he call COVID if that's not serious?
But until you have virus that is so low in society, we as a nation need to continue to wear the mask, to keep the physical distance, to avoid crowds. We're not through with this just because we're starting a vaccine program.
We're not through with this just because we're starting a vaccine program.
Even though you, as an individual, might have gotten vaccinated, it is not over by any means. We still have a long way to go, and we've got to get as many people as possible vaccinated.
Zambia must not inject any vaccine in any Zambian body before strenuous verification and validation is done to this vaccine. No injection should be inserted into a body of any Zambian. We must declare that the vaccine is unsafe until it is scientifically proved to be safe. Not by the Americans, like I said, not by the Russians, not by the Europeans, but declared safe by our own scientists and our own doctors. I heard somebody say, where are we going to get scientists and doctors? Well, if you can't verify what is given to you by your own people, then I suggest that you don't get involved in touching things that are made by others, because then you can be poisoned and we can all die like fools, like Martin Luther King Jr. said. If we are ignorant and we don't want to verify what we eat and what we inject in our bodies or ingest in our bodies, then I think that we do not have the sovereignty and we are not a state. We are now called a banana republic. But I believe that we have got some of the most educated scientists in this country and doctors who must be trusted to dissect the constitution of this vaccine and ensure that it is right and fit for our people. We may be poor, but we are not stupid. We can read when they write on the vaccine that this is not for distribution in the United States, and this cannot be used in the European Union. This vaccine cannot be used in Europe. They're even telling you that this is not for us because they've got some other substandard stuff that they make for us. How do you know the injection that was given to President Biden is the same vaccine that is coming here? You didn't check it when they put it on him. You have not compared that vaccine to the vaccine you have received. You can watch it on CNN and say, even President Biden got a dosage of it. Are you sure? Did you see it? Did you get the drop and analyze it that it's the same drop getting into an African's body? I think that we need to be more responsible. And our salvation outside God will be by responsible governments on the continent of Africa. Corrupt governments, those who are just looking for money from the West, are going to kill their people like fools. We shall die like fools if we have a government which is corrupt and is only waiting to be given money by the international community. We should never accept everything that comes to us without verifying it ourselves. So I shall not debate myself our reservations on the privileged information that we hold about the coming vaccine. I think I shall leave that out. I shall not deal with it. Suffice to say that I would not inject it into my body, my children's, or those I love who happen to be all Zambians. This position can only change if it is established by ourselves that the vaccine is safe.
Now you've seen it. You've had it for yourself. What do you make of it? Now, in Nigeria, our government of Nigeria that deprived Nigerians palliative materials, food to sustain them during the lockdown, are now eager to embrace vaccination. I've talked about this before.
The National Coordinator of Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Sani Aluyu, says the COVID-19 vaccine will be administered to Nigerians free when vaccination begins. Mr. Aluyu made this known today during an interview on Channels Television's breakfast program, Sunrise Daily.
You see, that is the kind of country we found ourselves. Hypocrites. I believe the powerhouse, the global forces that wants to, whatever means, try to bring everybody under control and reduce world population, especially in Africa, these men without conscience must have taken some kickback. You know, not.
And doctor ne de tu da say sanjo ne bisa ne say virus here na vaccine a yedi ewe ebeboa ho ban a eho hia say ebe sha mask ebe observe physical distancing no doctor ne ka ne say there are still a lot of virus out there virus be ne ka ho asemi afei ona na kasa no and doctor ne say tu da say we are not sure that vaccine will protect you against getting infected and also can say no ho and afei osade two dwabiem say clinically recognizable disease bi also e wo ho a clinically recognizable disease the one thing ya ma say esu bi sa disease no disease be kura na wo ka ho asem ni ye be di ho enkomo and afei is almost 100% sure from severe diseases severe disease ben and ye ka ho asem afei there eti akoma kura ne say or say we are not through with this vaccine just because we have started this vaccine program in the vaccine kura fa so ben wo say e be wo na mote Zambia mampani ono so kire say nya de so no be ma kwan ama ye de saa aduroi ana panye awo no ana say ne hunipa bi ana say na dofu empu na wo he video na hu say vaccine e ba ya na ya twe ho not distribution to European countries ni ade na adan na wo de ba Africa ama ye de awo yen enti ye be di saa enkomo enti ye be kwa ho so na afa ye ne Dr. Amos ana say emponu vera esi eduwa na ye no onhwe enkomo afa saa asemi ehu enti no saa enkomo we yi ye be konkon okuje se ibenya saa doctors yi mi na afa no wotwe enkomo ne hu omo so adwen kire efa saa vaccine we say vaccine na e wo Ghana ha no eye no abi e na abrofo no e use to ye e wa brotima mu ana esan say esantoni ka no wo kire say vaccine a ye de wo Joe Biden no e bia nye no na aba Ghana ha yi nti sabrofo na amfa no anwo a adan nti na wo say different from ye there a omode ba Africa ha yi ye ba ginchiremu afri saa a doctors ye ho na afi ya hwede anyima enso esifa eko efa nti ye de saa nkomo be konkon ko say benya saa enimdefuwe no mahwetwe enkomo na no fiada na eye oman court kese pa Supreme Court e de atemu a efa Mahama andi se mo de kodan eye court atemu kese ne pa na court no kire se ensemu a Mahama de ba ye ni nyina sebi utafra che ma no sisimu na so eye ade se nyina so bi ani nyina so sebi untimi metu futuru mu court no ni sa ma na ye nti court no kire se saa nsem no enyina so bia enim na witness nyenu a omo nso ebedi adanse eye pese white ene nunu obedi adanse ma John Dramani Mahama no enti ye nkwa homa no so na ne ye ne ye maame Vera Esedua edwetwe enkomo emfasa vaccine ehu hello maame Vera what me nka na no pay ya me ngwa aba de ba Premium TV morning bibi aboko de I hope so video no wa hwe enti video a wo hwe yi doctor no kire se omunye sure se saa vaccine ya de wo nkofo e wo Ghana ha yi ebe boy ho ban afri ade ne ho na e wo se ekoso wa hye mask e wo se ekoso wa keep physical distance no ne ho ko ne ba e di asem na wo so wo ka kire Ghana fo na futuo ben na ba Ghana fo isa se nkofo bebre e misconception se panye kura no ye de wowo a ye de be wipe Africa fo nyina afri ho afa kura no ye be ma sebi okwakudo nsu anu nya de se be adwuma se so yiri beja wo anu no e de na mo so mo wo ka kire Ghana fo mo so mo aye apomudin adwuma afu yi e de se na mo wo ka kire Ghana fo na bitio nkasa mu ya se pania no mpo no wa yes na wait me test positive yes for the COVID-19 na wo ka na dodo ana se mfie dodo ebedi yeah mate wase wo kasa na wo kire se vaccine ba na o mampani se wo se woni a sebi o mo di free 60 years ekọ afei woni a o mo wo yade bi a o mo apom ni no ensisi suye na ye a sebi ye ho odin de e de ye na ya nkọwa a enha adwen wa hu ye di a chere dia sange ni ye ni dikura wa adware kwa enware bi nyesa mi se ye di a chere dia ni adware na di ekura na ye nye bi mpo na se u hwe video di ya un se vaccine bi ba ya na o ma twere ho se enya de so mo be distribute dia ko Europe ni ade na ni ade na Africa ade o mo di bia ba hai
no a wo hwe wo eyi vaccine na aba ha no e di hwe ada wa no enye aba no from Pfizer that company di omo ne ma na e quality you know that company di be also omo ne ma e quality ni aba Ghana ti ane di ni ti me ni e no nye di ada wa na mo kan wa
enti dia ye de bo men kan sa ma ne fo enu abi na aba ha ne sa me se dia vaccine na ye de ma ne fo no enu abi na aba Ghana hai
enu na aba Ghana hai so ikokwa ye bi wo ye nyema bebre so mbetu ikokwa bi people esi enya ni sa hepatitis B ni sa enya wan bai ikokwa kan se bebre fa wana be ko ye se ena be ko ye se fine uwa obi na ni blood obi wa instantly obi na reaction ni je se kwa obi ya obi start nya minor kind of headache obi also obi na a little crisis fever ni nyama kiti but no just say do ko what I say e do na ko system no after answer na no system here
e ko fa
kaka so obi so owa enye na shi obi owa on se shi
ti se mi wa me nte hwe mi ho de pa na uka se vaccine ko ni padua mu ani ni padua be fa ni ade no na se aklamata de ho asem na uka nya sa be se uka se panian ye de wowa before se ni padua na be fa na e bia because of your blood group ni o system ni nti no e bia ube ti be ya kakra ni ade no nche se be kun They're very weak. Yeah. Uko US no. Ghana for tie wo mo hwe na se de enim da na ye ukwa ya sabia na ko wo panye ka kire wo se wuni di ya ko paduane bi di anso aduane ese bi emu odu bi ansa na wa ko wo panye no Ghana for tie wo mo hwe wi de no mo nya wo fie preparation be no mo nya ansa na wo mpa bufuo bi ni ana se mpo ne banku bi emu odu kra ansa na o makọ de no mo nya ansa na makọ wo panye no Yo. Any mammy very better was or a digenin when your mind will premium teams and Uncle Punch out. Yeah, no, what you had the mammy. Why?
Prevention is better than cure.
Pure. Pure.
If you say I don't overwork, not that I prevent you from getting it. Now, so over my really now, no, and a smart Ghana.
What word you own? Ampa, correct. Mudi ni nyam my own. That's it. Mate, that's it. Why? Yeah, chia de pama me pa. Why? You, Nyakoponka. Enti, Mame Vera, a seed, do our pharmacist technician out say, or no so didn't she movie eba afa vast homes and same bibra ebe. You know, Elliot, any na pam for Mokona Moko Pan is a yet you man, you that Jimmy said, in your time on call, so, but in your man, corner, met me up or walk media. Enti, your friend, we see when your doctor, almost a champion, so a jack, or no so any dear abetato. Now, before that, I make a Supreme Court of Massam. Now, if you had a very Babontima, you who dear course be a court and nature, some Mahama, some whatever dark court to cry again. A frivolous, a Nina swap, a insolence near day. I might see the Chua, a quote for food be near Mahama, sorry, near the idea. Abra, very to no caution, young Connie and Cotia Bimla, near said a very to no Isifa, Ecofa, and tea, yenya. The banner of Moso on the very no is if I acquire France again. Video no shady. Valance Wakasa. Then I also walk up.
Video platform you mentioned, tier 4 and sharing and persons maybe according to doctors near say and I'm looking for what they call outside. For share say I am back. You be possible now and normal I have person your woman how many minutes and I'll bet nasty and Sana
doctor say they are wow so what's nice for some 15 minutes to be
Sana with the 15 minutes most many share pie is 15 minutes there'll be a change that you say but 15 minutes there'll be a change. But in that course, no, what you so almost also at Nasi. So I say within 15 minutes, no, not just a BPI normal, son of Martina. Ultimately, actually, now I'm my dream. I confused.
You are contemplating.
Azuchi ne do. So a day ne dear
so it's when centronium.
It's a wow. Or no sooner. Ono so nya ade a kan say convince issues so I say it just say vaccines now mo kwako no e no correct and I no correct so now the doctor kan ya I say it protects you from clinical diseases so I say clinical diseases this is hepatitis B diseases
why here you can hear why
clinical diseases Okay. Fine.
Clinically recognized diseases.
But me make a clinical
disease.
Yes, hepatitis B, airborne disease,
HIV/AIDS if one.
HIV/AIDS.
Yeah, clinical.
Clinical.
Yeah, so what kind of airborne yeah?
Virus.
Virus
HIV is airborne. They can't airborne.
But I also can't clinical. No?
Yes, clinical disease.
You can watch now after because when choose to room money. Airborne no kuna clinical no.
Within that sector, ni na ye the pop ayaresa.
Bia.
Yeah. So I just say enti who bet me at any point in time, but airborne no na ye risk. Because who put that hepatitis B, any TB. Ni na no obi bo wa anasa ohome anasa okasa gu so plan na obetimi nya. that virus na protect you.
So we hear now fiancé we can have fun and okra bit me.
So we dia.
The true saliva no you can yeah.
Yeah, we bet me after.
Yeah, you say Elio say well pekis pa. Yeah, no too.
So dia say it is sa.
Me kura say me ni jemu pa.
That kind of diseases, you know, it's been happening at a point. It is our COVID dose now, man. It protects us from getting that kind of disease. It those are acquired first dose. And acquired.
What no.
Oh, me nyango. Who's after na here try say.
You money tin you nimre.
It acquired that kind of trial. You try
Doctor ne kind so. Omo try na nkura no omo nim say we be ko true.
And was also kai say there are a lot of viruses
out there.
Yes. And as out there. So I just say Africa it do what happen. It do more contemplate say what they say near what what's a Ghana for Indian to was here.
Ten.
No more so I just say no more one not be enya come because yes, the president I will didn't buy Africa. First Ghana the climate weather no say I a wine kaka it is it's me what yeah a bit me sustaining for a period of time na get me
anim yeboa aka recross
me da say o de bia ofre me anim yeboa ade esu ye na yeboa
say na e Supreme Court won na ate ho no una
de ate me boy dwuma pa na nye se o kan
any so yem ko
Richard when we say ewiase aye wo no let's call a speed no credit da wa na waka say bi twene anim da wa ye monchen na tie ne say wo he video ya roni na ono oye health scientist ono na enduro no mu na hwehwe mu no no onye sure as to adwuma aduro no ye o
ne no correct
onye sure as to say aduro no eye covid aduro anase eye other airborne disease aduro
yes o mo try
hepatitis B uko pane na ebetumi a protect you from COVID-19
dabi
say hepatitis V eduro and wakobo meboa the same way na say ye covid eduro so it should be made for COVID. You get me? Now doctor no submission or no or see there are a lot of viruses out there without mentioning the fact that COVID antivirus be no kan wasem no. Secondly, or make statement say clinical diseases. A chance uhwema edronu enye specifically
for
COVID. Now, ye say sesia edronu nya for COVID dey ntina wo dey ba say yenwo. What am I say? Dey ntina wo dey ba say yenwo. Now, yembra Ghana. Yembra Ghana na yembehwe Africa. Na ntina na make say no creda ho na ya kan say Ghana ye way. Mami nurse kasa no o make statement mi say panier no e duration. Now panier ni ba Ghana no wonim duration ma say as to 6 months.
Omuntimi verify.
Thank you. Thank you. So if say ebia vaccine no e 2 days duration na me dem hu. Say 24 hours I made them
who are still adhere to the safety protocols.
Then what is the what is the essence of it? If some because hepatitis B aye kan e bo ho ban.
Yellow fever mun na say
e bo ho ban. What is e dey asem na okay. Polo dey say na say cry e wo mu bia. Polo dey ye hu bia polo ye hu bia what is ye chinya kama. Ye hu bia. What you say? So when we nyina wodwuma edi na ye still COVID ye ntumi hu say vaccine we potin na ye den na ye dro because even with polio mu nyina de ye nim duration e wo enti esan at a point in time your cyber system ni biem na ya bewo. What you say? Now we have a vaccine that we don't even know the duration. What do we do then?
How
say
long it
will last yes enti ye nko keke ana. Now you advise people say kowo Okowa at the end of the day, no, still are safety protocols. No,
you have to adhere to,
what you say? Still are all this. Now my question is, what is the importance of the vaccine? That is my question. I know Nanka. When you are a doctor now,
and now the same was Mamet say. I was an amunamoa. Was a war panienwa. Na say yɛmfa sɛ mmoa no bi nya kwan wura wo nipadua no mu a how a yare na bɛka wato hɔ te sɛ wɔne yɛde da ventilator so ne ade no ɛmma ne saa because sɛ vaccine kɔ nipadua no mu a introduce body no ama na hu sɛ biribi sɛ ebetumi aba nipadua mu ɛba how will the antibodies, let me say the white blood cells no and the red blood on be fight against those kind of virus aba nipadua mu no sɛ the pan no wo a why broni beka say acclimatize. It is a virus ne ba nipadua mu a enya ne foforo ma no entimi nkuntia enka won to hɔ te sɛ wɔne a ɛde wɔn kwasa ma ro ne ade na na doctor
now okay, what are we looking at here? Say enka won to hɔ
but unse first no ka unya HIV AIDS a enka you will be looking like skinny and bony but now no ha say bi wo HIV AIDS kura ubetimi ne say we re ahiem anyem awa nkwada ne nya bi.
That's right.
Because enu o be look fine.
Obetumi awo kura akola no onya positive.
What you say? Because when we be dem awo be ma no no yere ne ahiem a e ma won contract disease no. What you say? I man kola no so nya bi.
But Richard, let's get the fact clear. And yet here say Dr. Amos aka say eduro no ko o body ni mu a. Well, it means eduro no you can still test positive. Yes. But say ebe kan wato ho no. Have we thought of it so say who test positive a obetumi so dia mobi?
Ere de no kra obetumi dia mobi.
Eti eduro no what is still the essence?
Eduro no de. Ere nso mo kire say say wo ye wo bo vaccine na you have to adhere to the safety protocols. And so lose guard. No doctor no kra kan. We have video na doctor no kan.
One who say this is why I'm saying that Ghanaians, yempe no kred na yen accept ye die. We in Ghana, yenya vaccine bia wa ha, we had our local remedy and boy.
The garlic no ni ginger no.
Obo say obi di num ni we ma fra no wa pu ni ho no tree ni man no correct. And no na doctor for ni nurse for no more advice ye pa on that. Why can't we do that?
Nipa kra no wo he respiratory system no a enima bi etimi boa yen ekutia those diseases bi tuberculosis no sa ni manema no. Garlic.
Exactly.
Ginger.
Exactly. No so ye niema ye di day out.
Hwentia mo
pepre mo ni well sa niema ni nyina ye niema
president ni kan ye odin.
Oh matena na on say ye kwotena brochi kakara na ha but ye nyame pese me kan say abrofuna po omu nim djuma potin vaccine no di. But they are only bringing it out there because World Health Organization yebeka say na yare ba na moti ho na monye hwe. Well, FDA dey our option. Only option bia because
we Zambia president now say e was set yan kasa nurse for.
Ye
scientists for hwehwem say ade yi a dey ku nipadua mu yi enkofa ha obi ama nya say bibia wudi akọ nipadua mu no.
My brother, FDA, how many scientists na wo omutumi approve aduane obekọ na expire enye papa. We live in Ghana.
Expiry date no ho a
I'm not talking about expiry date too. And niema bi wo ho a emmoa nipadua. Unim say there are series of endura aba system ni mama ya bande.
Oh, I me hu bebre. E me ne bebre kra.
But FDA approve ye. Na expire you. But you see enye ma nipadua nti ye bande ye. FDA o approve ye me boa. Enti den no mo check ye.
Later no mo hwehwemu ni be to dwa se to hu.
Enti se mo hwehwemu a mo ma ye rush.
Doctors ni woni mo nya
vaccine no well to me personally there I mean but yeah that's why ye hwehwemu. You see mami two man for
enti wo ngo
me ba o yes o benya vaccine wo mojam but ye local one no ye local one no there ye ma ye
medase ye wura ye boa na wote say ono so e kire say vaccine there wontimi nkan si say wo ba wo so wo wontimi nka me am mpani pa no so ade say
na tie say me advocate for a local remedy local remedy na ye ma ye
no asisu there ntino ye no there ye kwa akọwọ na bibia timi aye kama na aye kama enso ewo eho no je ye kọ ye next topic no eso ye Supreme Court omo atemu omo dia babontin no ye kwaba na nse mahama kan ye esema court ni kan ye 2012 de Kufuor kan ye ni nyina no ye ba na wo so ehu bi na bibia etimi aye kama pa mi twa me ho sima aba me ba ebeto afọ je menko ba bia
etumi de anigye ba fie empo scan ni hɔ a onim sɛ empem agro ema obi kra ne tipai na etumi gyae onim de empasa agro tumi yɛ wait na make a chance of person who do draw efa empem agro ho a sie kundwa na oni of nature Friday you may be 8 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. na onim ne entwetwe mo emfa odo empa so dwumedie no isim bisani bi say ani ko wa ye hwe eye se me ne medofo enya mpaso agro na se me ni anje a metumi ka hwe madamfo dodo na aka we hu nti na me se hwe me o Premium TV ni yentumi endi enkomo me ka se odom paso a no waje so okọ e na mi ji ewo
baby I'm do it dear man I'm coming I'm so me adore you I'm not do it dear I go show you love metro
Mama Sam akwaba bi me famra Premium Express wo Premium TV ma refi say ubeko Facebook din no Premium TV Ghana ko na like page ne fo adwenche nto na yenso yenkenkan ema opa na owia ne wa share piaze de woto da me no ho na wa share na afoforo so nyadwuma de bia na bibia etimi aye kama pa bi afei no be kan say medin a ene wode share ba Richard ata boabe me ne Francis Ejay ena afei enim yebu o se pani wonko wi ena yesim konwe nei no yede saa nkomotwetwe ebrew wa kwan mu ene anope na Supreme Court verdict na course no said ya table no sifa kofa ye iwie mahama sem odi tu dwa afei 2012 kra so yede verdict ne ba na kufu ara sem wo kan ye ni nyina no de ba no wahu bi afei ani je mu so a lawyers a omu di a MPP na mu di asem no wo so ani di omu di afei omampani na ankasa mu be ma boada can promise nana adankwa akufu ado ani di a ono so ne vice ye wura baomia enso ekum edi nyina ebo akwam na nso wo se adwuma de ne esifa etie na no fia na court no ebua asem no sei ena temu no enso esifa ekofa ye enti se eye ready na ebe yama no wahwe se dia temu no esifa ekwa se dia justice enyim ye bo ato ne bo asem the hwan is yini na wadbe ba no wahu bi so ahu mempe me akwa na kire bi contempt akwa kire asem ne dia wi ozo ye wo fa contempt betimi ya kyew enti ya no wahu bukasem ye court ho ensensem enti enche kra bo akwam na wonso wahu bi na me enko Francis ho na afei court yi atemu wode ba ye mi nyina dwenkire emfa ehu Francis na no fia da Supreme Court bu asem yi na temu no mu no kofu bebra akire o madwene bi kire se wo court na ya de mi so to court na ebu ntanchi a ewiase etire bia ne adwene dem etire bi so o he record ti ya ni tikitwa eso adwene dem so ehu o he liot di ya kete enzo atwene no semfun headquarters no kan semfun rof ono so de nti no wo so no adwene kire ne sen efa Supreme Court verdict e ba bontin
only say the free judicial
president yeah
now what do you call president now akaisa and some of me did the trim no mass answer for reference
who will be right
good 2012 election by Yevra John Mahama MJ the winner but Yevra Nana Ado that time no your opponent what they call court so I say Emma the vice that time no your running mate and so a church munoma only a pink sheet ne yellow sheet ne
affidavit do mean I TV or
Yevra say them get also buyer or be car say police station here to about police station so I say remove the cost one
on your lawyer near dia
police station on your lawyer so Ama Addison Busani say, what the politics achieved for over 30 years?
Fie bebre.
Catch any say, oh you cocoa.
Onye lawyer.
Glad you see.
Is it necessity getting so crack come.
Eighty, sir, long.
80 me we dey mesra wa me ntwa no. Yenkɔ ne yenkɔ hɛ sɛ de atemu no etifa kɔɛ ɛwɔ ɔman court kɛseɛ Supreme Court.
This judgment by emphasizing that the petitioner did not demonstrate in any way how the alleged errors in unilateral corrections made by the first respondent affected the validity of the declaration made by the chairperson of the first respondent on the 9th December 2020 as already stated in this judgment. The petitioner has not produced any evidence to rebut the presumption created by the publication of CI 135 for which his action must fail. We have therefore no reason to order a rerun as prayed by the petitioner as in relief F. We accordingly dismiss the petition as having no merit.
As the court pleases.
My court, the petition is dismissed as without merits. We make no order as to cause.
We are grateful to the court.
My Lord, we are most grateful for the lucid judgment of the court.
Lord, with respect, may speaking for us take the opportunity to thank the registrar of the court and also the staff for their support in getting the proceedings and meeting us at weekends to file processes. We thank them too.
Supreme Court and what is Jewra Justice Enim Yeboa petition is of no merit. Now to say, what the back and cast anyone. Gramming to say Diana. That is in Aswobia nim as some of the bar and Faswobia Niso, Tino, as some of Bob. Now, say, Unya Supreme Court to almost crack any biking can know what she said. 1 year, Pastor White, and I feel no be dear dancing crano. Na a dancing with D and said you know I said a good bin womudino. Nipa, what me ebe dinner that can dear dancing so many. Yeura Johnson, a see do enketia. It didn't cry one to this on where star witness, I just say. Let's see, you get your bags up, Pastor White in New and I will offer tea and biscuit now. Your mammy tea, your man biscuit, and your mother's answer medium. Fast will be a new suit, Sana Court, neck, I said. Sanko for me, party, ye po be mudi mahama bra. Pastor White, any ye will know, only di mahama bro, but that's what we did in a said you in a swobia. Now, a very berry every no, and a year former president going that is a conqueror to the Tamumaswo or for John Dramani Mahama. Said there be assuming we could man can be there, said be my cockra and kay. Me and there's no coda Supreme Court, so more boy radio. Then I said, mint nasi, said penny, and Master Dian Fontino, or no so the enemy said a true guy. Watch they say, when person Yamaka, young court name put John Dramani Mahama, and so and was a bra, very no, a bit too.
Anxious for answers from the chairperson of the Electoral Commission as a returning officer of the December 2020 presidential elections. Ghanaians were hoping to hear her testify, and many are still baffled by the refusal of Mrs. Jean Mensah to be held to account by testifying in this case, unfortunately with the unanimous agreement of the justices of the Supreme Court. The vital part of the process to establish the truth and hold Mrs. Mensah accountable was blocked time and again by a protective cordon and firewall that I'm sure has confounded many Ghanaians. The refusal of this chairperson is in sharp contrast to the readiness with which Dr. Kwadwo Afari-Gyan, then chairman of the Electoral Commission, willingly testified in the 2013 election petition filed by then candidate Nana Akufo-Addo of the NPP. Speaking as a Ghanaian with no legal training, I believe that the refusal of the Electoral Commission chairperson to testify in this election petition leaves a very bad precedent for the future. I disagree with the suggestions of our justices that an election petition is akin to any other civil litigation, and therefore an EC chairperson whose functions go to the heart of our democracy can, by a legal sleight of hand, avoid accounting for his stewardship in an appropriate forum such as the highest court of the land. Our legal team, led by Mr. Chachuchi Kata, put together our case in a clear manner. Which left no one in doubt about the issues that were at stake. Apart from seeking to ensure compliance with the Constitution and for the true choice of the people of Ghana to be respected, the petition sought to provide opportunity for transparency and accountability in the management of our electoral process. But no one who followed the proceedings of the Supreme Court will be surprised with the judgment pronounced a few hours ago. Much as I'm aware that we are legally bound by the decision of the highest court of the land, the Supreme Court of Ghana, I disagree with the process of the trial and the ruling of the court.
Enti Yeura John Dramani Mahama, JDM, former president, and I would say, I disagree with the ruling of the Supreme Court. Enti nyade so no mo ya adwene de biara da ene adechie afi china kran so kan nyade so no me ya, but omo akoye kuyi die ene ombeji atum saa na enyo makomonim isa said ya ka enim ena edo so na die Yewura Mahama kan ye beka ya afimpinu ene dumienu me kire 2012 no Akufo-Addo enso de ne de yekoda Supreme Court no court de atemu ba ye no ono so kasa na we de mestre say yenkotie Yewura Akufo-Addo de no so mra ne ye fantoto ho ne ye hwe akanifu yi de on beso mo kira nkasa yentie Yewura mra sisia.
On being elected the fourth president of the Fourth Republic of our country, the Supreme Court of our nation has spoken. The result of the December 2012 presidential election has been confirmed as having been won by the candidate of the National Democratic Congress, President Mahama. As I said earlier, whilst I disagree with the court's decision, I accept it. I accept that what the court says brings finality to the election dispute. We shall not be asking for a review of the verdict so we can all move on in the interests of our nation. Everything in my bones, in my upbringing, and in what I have done with my life thus far makes it imperative that I accept a decision made by the highest court of the land, however much I dislike or disagree with it. I am saddened by the verdict, and I know that many of our supporters are saddened too. However, for the sake and love of our country, we must embark on a path that builds rather than destroys to deal with our disappointment. I appeal to all members and supporters of our party, the NPP, to accept the verdict of the court. Even even in our disappointment, we can take pride in the way we have conducted ourselves. Even in our disappointment, we can take pride that the NPP has again led the way in deepening Ghana's democracy. To quote one of the Supreme Court judges, quote, "After this case, elections in Ghana will not be the same," unquote. In other words, we might not have been given the ruling we sought, but thanks to our efforts, we can hopefully look forward to an improved electoral process in our country. I'm grateful to my co-petitioners, the National Chairman, Joe Kobecha Bilamte, and my running mate, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, for their hard work, dedication, and commitment as we pursued the legal options available to us. My gratitude also goes to the lawyers and the technical team for their unbelievable hard work and sacrifices. I'm grateful to all the volunteers who spent days and nights working on pink sheets, entering data, photocopying documents, and labeling exhibits for the petition. I am grateful to all the well-wishers for their prayers. I must also thank my party, the NPP, officials, the foot soldiers and supporters for their unflinching support and belief in me. The National Council of the party, having taken the decision to go to court, has been unwavering in its support. I also want to thank my daughters and my wife, the beautiful Rebecca, for their love and extraordinary support. There have been friends who have made unbelievable sacrifices of time, energy, ideas, money, and a listening ear. I'm grateful to all of them. I'm sure there are many people wondering what I envisage for my political future. I intend to take some time out of the hurly-burly of politics, get some rest, reflect, and then announce whatever decision I come to in the not-too-distant future. In Ghana's 56-year history, this is the first time a presidential election petition of this kind has been filed and pursued through the courts. The whole world has watched us in wonder and admiration. Our reaction to this judgment will be watched keenly in Africa and beyond, and will set a precedent for generations to follow. It is now up to all of us Ghanaians to put the dispute behind us and come together to iron out our differences, ease the tensions amongst us, and come together to build our country. There are myriads of problems facing us as a people. This is the time for all of us to come together and work to find solutions to the challenges that confront our people. To my party, the NPP, I say we have a lot to be proud of. There are more than 3 years left in this political cycle to be a worthy opposition and also position ourselves for the battle of 2016. Today, let us wish our president well, and thank the Almighty for his mercies to our nation. The battle continues to be that of the Lord's. God bless Ghana. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, the battle continue to be that of the Lord. Thank you. And I'll say one also Kasa watches or non yadi so no so ni Supreme Court no yadi na so enya babontin de ene e be fa na sa na yakọ anim yewura John Dramani mama so can the same thing na say enye asem ketua na verdict ne babontin no a na lawyer fo a ana asem mranim fo mu gina asem mu na you were offered ni ade nyina put it to you for no enso se da bi bibi say ya ba enti mi hwe na ye nkan no ntum mo so edi mumume ene osebo a na ni gi a no omo gie no ese wani ensese wo ka kire ye hwe lawyers ye se de na omo gi omo nifa em se lawyers no de na em se akakwa mu kakra beba e no kura chikura nso ye wura akufuado nana ajinwa no no mbremu se bremu yem se galam se na mana ye yi omo no biem e nana no mbremu biem can promise omo so ji omo ni wo office wa che se na nya asem keto akro anyumo no omo to na nya asem keto nti ni nyina judges lawyers ni ye na ready ye nko office de na ye hwese ye ni gini sifa kofa
This judgment by emphasizing that the petitioner did not demonstrate in any way how the alleged errors and unilateral corrections made by the first respondent affected the validity of the declaration made by the chairperson of the first respondent on the 9th December 2020, as already stated in this judgment. The petitioner has not produced any evidence to rebut the presumption created by the publication of CI 135, for which his action must fail. We have therefore no reason to order a rerun as prayed by the petitioner as in relief F. We accordingly dismiss the petition as having no merit.
Mr. President. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well done.
correct sir so the amakufu adu no enti nurse mahama wasan awibiem saa ne nkofo kan nyame na meka enti uhu ya nurse eno nso na lawyers no nso gioma nipa mu hinkini ade eno na baba akire eno ba ye be na mo hu se de omo nso agi omani efa no enti Francis se na wo ka no ifa to asoma me why
enti na otemboafo a no oteso at that time the lordship atukuba so I just say eno bu a asem no na me koti nana West African. I say I don't agree, but I respect the rule of law.
We send you the Quran at good.
And at the same thing, so SC 2020. I can focus say I buy a good and no one you did a bomb. Now, they can't apply to the so kind of say I disagree with the rule of law. Supreme Court judges were not fair in their judgment.
Good at the second
because or no anchor unyaya connect the president.
When you move, and then they say,
but
it's young quay not me back with it, Mr. Facheman. Young quay Morris and Palms when it's dear, almost so edgy, him rest is
Aziz, the hanky well.
Abemwe na lawyers ne tune saa no na menim hankine some why on my regular na se ye wie no mkoto yo eze gbofo no nkomu nim di ade ne beko ana mame nkofra anim homransa anim hankia lawyers him ni kikikikiki no mato dada na se ye wie na mo ye fast koto
dabi we de wo hwe ana ehihye botumu dada ye kan se judge de be ba preconnect se ya sha see him because right from
anyone here my friend we are my boss ye nkona
it's not see kan that ya say what president na e ba e na judicial president na ultimate say court petition is appellate so I say me can appellate just say ye assembly down and ya san so akode agasi and ye dey aya dey aba beto enti wo hwe
case because me kai say akoto ampa we kind statement but say or refer case bi no what say it will be madness to rely on your opponent to come and stand in the box as a witness. Madness. Some year me no nya some me some dey what be that? Now what I need to nya say dey.
Na court bet me ahye no by subpoena. So I say easy was obedient by subpoena. But and some of the na this will drop report I subpoena mo e de command no aba be more than now the mensa oka so media dance no no an e boss so I say o say witness no that one won't me en konisa now o hwe the judgment na e ba na ye bo ani e call through the appellated judgment na atuguba edi ye no nti o was o kom sa bi mo sa e de ba na afi witnesses din na so e de o docket na to was it was a fair judgment and it was a good judgment. Now, dear Radio Muhammad, you know, I say, the councils are a good deed, assembly Oh, it's very good. Say you are chatting Catalan, but next time, no. So Beko Porter, on a young and vibrant person, ever put down
experience here.
Oh yeah, experience here, but young and vibrant person, like Nana Oyelita, excuse me, Nana Oyelita, on no social media.
There's some gentlemen now.
Oh.
One fisher, some gentlemen there one fisher, one millennium. One fisher, one millennium.
That's what's young and vibrant.
So I say, and this is for the young people, and I used to also. All the time they should try and do something. So I say, anemia boy, judgment not the bad. Maybe I say a fair judgment. So I say, excuse me, to the president of the state. And you're right, Don Mahama, and so I just to 2024. Say you're right. Say you're right, Mahama. Say you're right, Mahama. Back 2025. It will be preferable. So best standing.
I know they won't meet now. When you party.
This is Sierra Mahama. So I just say Sierra Mahama to be back 2025. Party no, a bit in your kind. On Koyan homework. So I just say it's all about game. And MPP, NAB, NDC, NLO. Next time, Diano, on betting your cake. I'm an NDC also. I am about not MPP also. And to almost prepare a game not to be 2020, 2012.
2024.
2012. Which was a judgment action and upon. Almost the evidence I can see in a call a pink sheet name as a phone. But I say I wish the president well that in 2016 also a good news. It's your homework. Sounds on America say also congratulate Nana Addo 2020 election petition Mokai or call the office and say Nana why I wish you well. That is a good leader, a sign of a good leader, and he must prepare for 2024. Now
I mean quite yabua. Say Supreme Court krata no nya bi nkime de makenkan bi na uhwemu ano mo kire se pese ru apese white enunu sabi o tafrache omo dance o be di ene ye kan obi anko mo di mahama bro pa na ke sa anko vu emi enu say adanse mo be di ene sabi o na ye hodohuru adasem enyina so obi ani null and void so hu na ye call a strong room hono and opam ye say ye nko e o ma eti ye fa moto ye jala isi sa nsem court weekends no mo ya adwan because adanse de obedi o say bia no making it clear na court no wagina so dia kasem but court no say some be kai no it was frivolous. Do you agree with them?
I mean yeah accepted the fact say ye court
good agro
bibia ye be ye ama no clear daddy na ye you get me, and so every evidence counts as to per minute per second per incident be a see bia no accounted to provide the truth of the matter. But at the end of the day I would say yenya material evidence and sana accepted because what we were dealing with material based evidence na ye here. And to continue, I can say your mauti na your mau biscuit. I mean, what does that got to do with
the electoral commission? Are fair to them because with them even the MPP for any pombe.
It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Look, you are being biased. You are in for business. Your Juma now be asked to say a provided TO, you provided TO. It is none of your business. Well, a connection under normal circumstances, I will say a mouth. Yes. But you being vigilant, your mouth crana, you need to stay focused. So the time I used to be declared, and so say you be declare a bar. I mean, before I ever be declared, you should know your stand.
But maybe so many questions. I mentioned and say, why is it that the party agent for NDC, PC, one more sign to regional.
Yes, you're starting from polling station. You're starting from polling station. Almost signing at the bar coalition, the bar regional, the bar national. A BNU ever say I had a sign. Enti your mistake wo na woni nsa aba no wonje ntuma nka wo sign Wow, General Secretary, no can say elections are won.
When they were star witness. When you can't see don't get star witness.
General Secretary.
No, in the part. Court no to be cases to say.
No, evidence no na material based. Yeah. But even with Onokra, there was one or two problems because na ye bisa no questions bi kura or say man family figures and maha ye bisa no questions or say my lord we don't have the figures available.
But we calculation no ni
CC ni kakra tini we say na dwumudo o here so we adwuma na che enti onimri ekọ what you say
osro bia okrom
edu mra nim no nya obi enti ye no de wahu so I believe say ube bani na won sign over bedu regionals na say you made the people understood earlier on say elections are won at the polling station enti MPP for so say saadi ya ni so yamba ya ni akọ polling station ansa na aba enti sa polling station won wo nya adwene a ohonoma na e say o file report say aha say now they was sign once you sign no e che say wajiatum and even at a point in time isi wo ho kwan say one sign kra na otumigitum you know that say oye agent and then you don't sign it now other political parties about 5 signing more than that yetumigitum exactly it's about 5 signing it yetumigitum me but here comes the case obia signing it means you are okay with the figures well then it's up to them. Then they need to go back home and then do their corrections. What you say? Like, another person can say, what the petitioner court now ye be case anymore. First of all, you need to get your facts right.
That fast no be
ye be kaya when him say even initially ye be started court proceeding no there were so many errors. There were so many errors as to date people are filing petition.
I'm coming. Why isn't that the court was able to let me say disable some of the petition that the NDC, or let me say the John Dramani Mahama submitted before the court. So 12 questions here on court ni bogu.
Well, I believe say omo ye mranim ni ena yehwe mranimfo na yehwe mu a yehu se wei eboasem na yedi no wei emwa wei ebema che wei ye kone se ebe ye tentem
the court can say is of no merit
exactly it's of no merit just an importance bi anim a ye hia ye yusu a eni nyina so bia
kwasia nanta twene bi to
but me I don't blame judges no but I rather blame petitioner no because first of all, who the petition cause say, yen conduct election between who any
first respondent.
Yes.
The second respondent.
No,
rather.
First one no cause easy. Any ye correcting say no. Exactly. Me person me started from baby.
Yeah.
Any ye kobai after ye kobai ye hwemu kura say data wa file petition no was 2020. Which should have been 2021. Another mistake. Who koya there was so make it cut on the econo. What is that a credit me bibi?
You have to arm yourself strategically.
Exactly. What in American you say? So when you get there, as a could go be earlier on no say you conduct election because when you're 50 and above. Now you come back no earlier on no more say omo na win election no. And then
no share petition ni mu a Mahama no wono kire say abano ye wura kufu ado gonja de sekonkon
ono de oyachim
enya onum bremu so galamsa ani say ko nti say gwa no monum biem
oda so a obone ho mode
be galamsa say no de no wo kire ne say ye coordinate election between ono ene kufu ado enfi say 50% plus 1 10.
So your catcher say then bring out figures such as say empower Ateni. Went to me and Famba. General Secretary. I mean, ye hear material base. Anything you business a open sheet where he hear material base. Who come bob? That's me to me at na have bob meeting calculator na. I mean, ya can be no. You want material base such as say Upper East mean 50,000, Upper West mean 80,000. Voter region mean 90,000. You can't now boom.
Before say when it's number Bible and I think say well, the same year on Friday, no, and on Monday krata ba abonten so mu hia mu sika because omrani mu say what in 12.5 to 25% ubetimi akoko claim mu sika they no mo nim say ba no mo lose we dada na
and even so mo nim say wo hwe krata na o de ba no so na omo listi ahia omanya in the various regions it tells you that omo figures ni nyina ahia omanya it identity no one provide exactly that is my point and no no okay so we are saying it tells you say adina ka so omo ya we so omo nya
na sika no na nya o
sika no about who say isi na no de achechire no ho enti say kafra me ko twa ma yi na manya ntwa me be ma na manya ntwa
be ma so wa be ma na atifi
aha ye kwan ho se na America no u ko twa na manya ntwa se bi obi to ka ho fa hye moto
baba so no so de wo be kan plain
o meba eno de me ka eno ka de ma mini pa me cancel what you say enti I believe say omo say no baby a case e ko e de aboti aye sade a enko hwehwem ne enko ji esika
Pacho wo 1 minute
enti omo akodi omusika de a na say omo wo kwan but at the end of the day no court assembly wo kan na wo hu sani a wo kan no wan kan ya me wo ha mi ni capital me di kotu ya sika wo ha na jail abam
it will be scandalous to the court
exactly enti wo kan na wa kan ye na wo hu sadi a wo be sifa aka na afa enti I believe say at the end of the day no nia asibia no
France 1 minute na ye fan rapid show up Francis ye wie show yi kura no court na temu aba obi aka ne de masa aseme ni nyina so ne ade a di sabe na obe kan ye twato abra Supreme Court edivate ya party no mu ene country as a whole ne nya saba say ensi na yen kwaso ankwa anim as a country 1 minute
okay Becca said 2024 there is hope for NDC so
ultimate na deciding my NDC but what do you mean by there's hope?
There is hope.
2024 there is hope for NDC.
That is if they do their homeworks well. Because it's a game.
President na kind of said it was a fair trial.
Meda Francis J and afi nana yeboa asese na ombeka mi yesi nkunya na yede sa akọ twetwe we eba makọ mu ne anope mi din biem ode hye ba Richard ata boa be yakọ ba no china sa LGBT ho nsem yi emsa to ntwa yi we sa akọ mo ne be bremu executive director edema anti LGBT china ene na wo se ko ba fia but we nya ho china no ene yede sa akọ mo twetwe no ebe bremu na mu se de nema enso is kwasna kase enkoma production team na Kwabna Elliot ni tiketike saa nsefo headquarters ufensefo akọ no na gina camera na chi afei akwasi kisi Hollywood enso boy ma sound no bibia so timi ye kama ewa afei director Mr Kingsley enso boy ma bibia ekọ so pa na producer ba akopɛ echa ni show no de nsem de oba TV pa na mu amke kasa me ye virgin mu hwe ye sanse me nya virgin pra na mu hwe sanse ni ti no chance so de baso life in Caleb na somehow remember peso so no de ohun o fe de we anu wati ho ana so ohun ma no so ohun de make wati ase da ntino nyame adom asa show no beba ma akwam na mo we kasa me virgin je mu hwe yie pa enti nyame adom e china e be hye na ma refi se Premium Media College enso eba mu amoda ye so se dachi bia o pese wo ye sentroni mapa utimi twa camera yi me hu say yes we dey need da ho utimi tina camera chief presenter utimi reporter utimi tire utimi edit ni nyina mu no Premium Media College se nyankopon ya adoma enchekora ya dey school na eba enti mu amoda ye so ne se dachi bia o pese mu ye sentroni na se sentro 40 say ye no ubetimi aba school bi na bibia timi aye kama wo fo so a mo pese o man so di se adwuma no ubetimi do ba no atimi aba ya chi kwan e wo da akoma circle station ho na wo hwen ya obi hu ya nti bibia to na kwa mu a na ati school nkola mbaba na bibia atimi aye kama na aye kama enso ewo eho enmo asada kese enkomatie na yefo a omo so ehwe so nyina me nana abawasa nso me chia wo ba bia wo bia enye wo ankene ba bia medu ye nyim nye so sank medu nti no nyame adom e kina ye behia na adwumadia aka eho no yetimi ede aba makwam blaster for ye dam asese mo so mutimi kwaje cap no ma ya under 20 em se Ghana fo mfa mo nyehwe ba ni nyina mu no yebetimi aye na nyame adom a enne no state of the nation address so eba enti no ye de live telecast ever brem na mo so motimi hu nsem anana ede ebetu dwafa o mai se de ye bobre kra se na o mai bobre tie na wo so watimi ehu nyakobo adom e kina ye besan ehia medamase ema mu eni tie eni hwa adehye makra mu nyina piao
Oni se empemagro eye apomtentene adwuma Oni se empemagro etumi de eni je ba fie empo scan ni hɔ a Oni se empemagro ema obi kra ne tipai na etumi jai Oni de empasa agro timi ye Wait na make catch us up so who do draw empemagro ho a sie kundwa no ni of nature Friday you may be 8 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. No only me and twetwe and fa odo empaso dwumedie no isim bisani bi say ani kono ayehwe eye semene medofo eni ampaso agro na semeni anje a metumi ka hwe madamfo dodo na aka we hu enti na me se hwe me oh premium tv ni yentumi endi enkomo me ka se odo mpaso a no wage so okọ eni enije wo
Do it, dear man, I'm coming, I'm show me I adore you. And I do it, yeah, I go show you love. Make sure we take it, go be. Yeah.